Last year, we talked about Barbie unveiling their very first Down syndrome Barbie. And I was the villain on that episode because I said, this is stupid, no one needs it, and no one wants it other than a bunch of activist parents who are forcing DEI on their children. Well, Barbie has earned a reputation for this. They have released not only the Down syndrome Barbie, but also a blind Barbie, a Barbie in a wheelchair, a Barbie with hearing aids, countless examples so far, and of course, plus-size Barbies. And the newest one is Barbie with type 1 diabetes. They just revealed this yesterday.
That's
Mattel
a very
has announced
fashionable glucose monitor.
the very first Barbie doll with type 1 diabetes who will sport a glucose monitor and insulin pump. And I looked at the product page. This is a real thing.
Can somebody tell me where if 130 mg DL is good or bad?
Is she having a medical emergency right now?
I need to know whether that's good or bad. And does Mattel actually make glucose monitors? Because that would be diabolical.
Barbie Fashionistas dolls celebrate diversity and offer endless possibilities for storytelling and fashion exploration. Designed to reflect the world kids see today, this diverse line of Barbie dolls showcases bright, trendy styles and inspire endless storytelling possibilities. Barbie partnered with Breakthrough T1D to design a doll that celebrates this community. Yes, if anyone in the chat has diabetes, just so you know, you are part of a community now. All of you know each other, right? You just know everyone else on the planet who has diabetes because it's a community.
A blood sugar of 100 or higher is considered abnormal. A range of 100 to 125 falls under the category of pre-diabetic. So
Okay.
she is.
She's stable.
She's
That would be above normal.
Yeah,
okay.
It's above normal.
They say her polka dot top and skirt are a nod to the global symbols that represent diabetes awareness, a circle shape and the color blue. To manage her type 1 diabetes, Barbie uses an insulin pump and a continuous glucose monitor, CGM. To keep her CGM in place, she has heart-shaped medical tape, in Barbie pink, of course. And on her phone that she's holding, it displays a CGM app to help Barbie track her blood sugar levels throughout the day. That way, she stays healthy and is ready for a fun adventure anytime, anywhere.
I know this is awful to ask, but I wonder if she's got like the diabetic socks in the high heels.
Yeah, they didn't add those. I didn't see any compression socks here. But look, what I was saying about the Down syndrome Barbie still applies here. Kids don't care about having a Barbie doll that represents them. They just don't. I was a little girl once who played with Barbie dolls. I didn't care at all if I was playing with one that looked exactly like me. They're dolls. And the point is that you have an imagination. And the problem here at the root of it all, it's the parents. And especially the moms. But the parents are really the reason why something like this exists and is able to sell. I saw one of the questions sent in by a customer. Will there be other diabetes dolls that have blonde hair? My daughter would love one that looks similar to her. No, you would love that. Okay, and then here's some of the product reviews. Absolutely love this Barbie and the inclusivity. I think Mattel is doing a great job at including everyone. Little kids everywhere can play with Barbies that are truly relatable. And another one said they got one for their 3-year-old daughter. Beware, that is a choking hazard. She immediately loved it. The first thing she commented on were her shoes and her blue dress and her hair.
So
she did notice.
all the stuff you would normally comment on.
Yes, but she did notice the stomach device and referred to it as her purse. She didn't mind it at all. She hasn't noticed the pink patch on her arm yet. I assume she thinks the Barbie has a sticker. My wife and I tried to explain what it actually was as best as we could to a 3-year-old. Why? She's 3! She doesn't care about what disease Barbie suffers from. This is all for your own virtue signaling purposes. Another review said, I loved giving my daughter this and opened a conversation about diabetes with her. It's something new. She's only 7. So I was able to explain what exactly the attachment on Barbie was and how she may come across someone who has one. She was so excited when she realized that she does actually know someone with one. Another one said, awesome representation. My kids love playing with Barbies, and we were so excited to see one who has type 1 diabetes, even with a monitor and pump. We have a close family friend who has type 1 diabetes, so this was an excellent opportunity to explain what each item was and what it does to keep people safe and healthy. Truly a great addition to the Barbie lineup.
See, you're thinking about this the wrong way, Mary. You're thinking about this as it's a form of quasi-indoctrination on the children. I think this is a fantastic example of why capitalism works.
It's virtue capitalism. That's what it is. These people are deranged. It's truly. The last thing I wanted when my parents bought me a Barbie doll was for them to sit me down and make it an educational moment. I didn't want to talk about my Barbie's accessories. I wanted to just be left alone to play with the dolls. That's their purpose, okay? I cannot stress enough. It's really the activist moms who are at fault here.
I mean, at the rate we're going, all the moms in this country are going to be activists.
Like a little girl could not give less of a shit if her Barbie doll has diabetes or blindness or a wheelchair or fat calves. They don't care.
Somebody asked why she's that size. It's this is type 1 diabetic Barbie, not type 2 diabetic.
Right.
Barbie.
So the autoimmune genetic disorder, not
that was the other part about it.
Lifestyle related.
Type 1 diabetes, if I remember correctly, is a genetic condition.
Partly genetic.
Partly genetic, which is why it makes more sense to them to do this rather than type 2 diabetes version, which could just use Lena Dunham as a model.
Well, alongside the generic diabetes doll, they also unveiled a couple of celebrity dolls that are modeled after one activist who is an instructor for Peloton who has type 1 diabetes, and another one, the Nepo daughter of Kate Moss, Lila Moss, who has type 1 diabetes. She spoke to Vogue about the doll that is modeled after her, saying, I have such fun memories of being at my grandma's house and playing with a Barbie Malibu dream house as a child. And raising awareness for type 1 diabetes has always been really important to me. But I think creating this Barbie has also been a sort of healing experience for that little girl.
I think one of the biggest scams in the world is raising awareness.
So Lila Moss, who has type 1 diabetes, is implying somehow that not being able to play with a Barbie doll that had an insulin pump as a child was something that she needed to heal from. The level of first world problem that we are facing right now. By the way, the daughter of international supermodel Kate Moss, who grew up in unimaginable privilege and wealth. Yep. This is the type of problem that really caused her deep emotional wounds as a child.
Well, you know, when you're born that wealthy, you're grading on a scale.
This is so irritating. Like I can't get over it. And then they put out a press release. They say this line enables more children to see themselves reflected in Barbie and encourages play that extends beyond a child's own lived experience, fostering a greater sense of inclusion and empathy, pillars of the Barbie brand's mission. The vice president of Barbie said, introducing a Barbie with type 1 diabetes marks an important step in our commitment to inclusivity and representation. Barbie helps shape children's early perceptions of the world, and by reflecting medical conditions like diabetes, we ensure more kids can see themselves in the stories they imagine and the dolls they love. They genuinely believe like a group of little girls is going to be playing with Barbies on a play date, and one of them is going to have the one that has the insulin pump, and they're going to incorporate that into the storyline. Okay, any little girl knows that when you were playing with Barbies as a kid, they were either mermaids or there was a wedding. You're not talking about anything like deep and about the real world.
Diabetics get married too. Maybe they need to figure out where to put the insulin pump on the wedding dress.
Like she's walking down the aisle and suddenly her blood sugar crashes. It's a medical emergency, and she has to check her CGM app on her little Barbie phone. Get over yourselves. I'm sorry. When I said that the Down syndrome Barbie was a stupid decision, people said that I was actually like, I was wrong. Like, no, like kids with Down syndrome like want this, and they like feel not included when they play with Barbies that don't have Down syndrome. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that the adults in their lives are far more focused on the condition that they have than the kids themselves. Kids with Down syndrome don't just constantly think about the fact that they have Down syndrome, nor should they. You shouldn't be reminded of that by a bunch of busybody activists and your own parents, God forbid. This is actually just so evil. Like, I think it's sinister. I really do.
Maybe I just don't think about it that deeply, but I definitely think about it in the context that the parents are the ones that this is for, and that it is a certain level of cope. And I think the point I made earlier was that down the line, the parents would buy this for them. And then maybe later as they go to college and they get indoctrinated into whatever Marxist philosophy that they take on, they'll be like, I felt so grateful that I had that doll without me really buying that they necessarily cared when they were younger. But at the same time, I'll fully admit, like, I see stuff like this and I was like, whatever. Like, this is just a company that's like, when I read that statement from the CEO of Mattel, what he really said was the creation of type 1 diabetic Barbie is a fantastic way for Mattel to grow its market share and reach a whole new audience.
A higher ESG score.
And not even that. Just like, no, it's not even that. That's some form of cronyism in a way that adjusts the market. This is purely, we have found a market. We have identified a new type of parent, the parent that wants to imprint on their kids a certain way, and we are fulfilling that market as we do. So you can lay that at the feet of our beautiful capitalist economy, and I think that is a beautiful thing.
It's like, what's next? You know, Barbie, Ozempic Barbie? Are we gonna get colostomy bag Barbie?
Colostomy bag Barbie could go. You know, yeah. Like, we'll get, like, I mean, we're probably 15 years away from Ozempic Barbie.
When I go on victoriassecret.com, I have to look at people's surgical scars and pubic hair. Just leave me alone. Like, I don't want to look at that.
I guess to me, I just look at this as this company has identified a market. They're fulfilling that market. The issue would be with the parents who are taking their activism to a certain level, and then mostly so that they can brag about it online and virtue signal to other parents.
My one consolation is that these things are going to end up in a landfill and no one's going to remember them. But yeah, I don't know why, it just pisses me off so bad.
This one gets to you a lot. Like, let
kids be kids. That's my thing. Like, just let the kids be kids. They don't think about this stuff.
We had this discussion the other day because the Target by my house is like, it's got a, you know, when you go through all the aisles, they got the pictures of the people modeling the clothes or whatever. And there's one that's like a girl with one leg, and the other girl is an amputee child gonna walk into Target on one leg and see that photo of an amputee child model and think, oh, I have something worth living for? Like, what is the thought process? I see that stuff, and all I see when I see that is a company the size of Target that understands its audience and its shoppers extremely well. They know the moms and the women who shop there. It's got nothing to do with the little girl. Yeah. And I just look at that as effective capitalism working its magic on the economy. Now, you can have your own critiques about whether that's the right way to go, but they're filling a market, and that's never going to go away because moms and women, neurotic women, that's never going to change. It's going to get worse.
I think the same thing, by the way, about lots of conservative-leaning moms who are anti-Barbie and anti-Bratz and all the rest of them. There are some Christian moms who take Barbie dolls or Bratz dolls or whatever. They take acetone, soak the doll in acetone, take all the paint off, and then repaint them to look more realistic so that their little girls don't feel insecure about not looking like a Barbie doll. This is the neuroticism of women that is being catered to here by a mega corporation.
What would the guy's version of this be? It would be like getting your kid G.I. Joes and like remaking it so the muscles aren't so
That's
big.
literally the equivalent, yes. Or if they gave little boys a G.I. Joe that's in a wheelchair, do you think that would go over well?
I think they did that in the comics. I could be wrong about that. Did somebody can let me know? I might be misremembering.
If you want an amputee Barbie, if you're a little girl who wants an amputee Barbie, what we all did back then was we just pulled the limbs off.
Yeah, but if you did that, then the neurotic mom would have you tested for narcissistic personality disorder or antisocial personality disorder, wondering if you were a psychopath and you were going to start killing cats.
I swear, literally all little girls did that.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.